Welcome to the world of Marvel Rivals, where heroes and villains clash in epic battles, and let's be honest, the villains absolutely steal the show. Sure, heroes are great and all, but there's something so satisfying about stepping into the shoes of Marvel's most notorious bad guys. Whether you're causing chaos as a strategist, dominating one-on-one fights as a duelist, or leading the charge as a vanguard, the villains in Marvel Rivals bring unmatched style and flair to the battlefield. They're not just fun to play, they're game changers. And hey, with a roster of 33 characters and growing, the bad guys might be outnumbered, but they're definitely not outshined. Now, why should you consider picking a villain? Simple, they make your matches unforgettable. Marvel's villains are the perfect blend of power and personality, and their unique abilities add a spicy twist to any game. Plus, who doesn't love being the reason a hero sweats under pressure? From tactical masterminds to brute force wreckers, these villains offer playstyles for everyone. And who knows, maybe your pick will even make your teammates rethink their hero choices. Stick around, because we're diving into why these bad guys are some of the best characters to master in Marvel Rivals. I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. Alright, let's dive into one of the most complex and conflicted characters Marvel Rivals has to offer, the Winter Soldier. Picture this, you're up close, the tension's high, and suddenly, BAM! Bucky Barnes is right there, smashing through the enemy with his biotic arm while laying down suppressive fire with his blaster. This guy isn't just a duelist, he's a walking highlight reel of chaos and redemption. But don't let that metal arm fool you into thinking he's all brawn. There's a lot of finesse involved in mastering him. Winter Soldier is what I like to call a risk and reward hero. He hits like a truck, no question about it. But the catch is, you've got to get close. And that's where the challenge comes in. One wrong move and you're toast. But here's the thing. When you get it right, when you nail that combo of precision shots and bone-crunching melee strikes, it feels so satisfying. He's got this ability to turn fights on their heads, making him a nightmare for anyone who dares underestimate him. Now here's the kicker. Bucky's not just a villain, he's a villain with baggage. That Hydra brainwashing backstory, it adds so much depth to his character. Every time you play him, you're not just playing a mindless damage dealer, you're channeling someone who's fought tooth and nail to reclaim his humanity. That's what makes Winter Soldier such a standout in Marvel Rivals. He's not just a powerful DPS, he's a whole story waiting to unfold with every match. Alright, let's talk about the powerhouse duelist that can either ruin your day or carry your team to victory. The Scarlet Witch. I mean, is there anything Wanda can't do? 1 second, she's zipping across the battlefield, dodging your every move, and the next, BAM! She's unleashing a wave of chaos magic that leaves your entire team wishing they picked a different game. She's the perfect mix of elegance and devastation, and let's be honest, we kinda love her for it. Or hate her. Depends on which side of her wrath you're on. What makes her so deadly? It's all about her versatility. The Scarlet Witch doesn't just deal damage, she controls the fight. Stunning enemies, dipping in and out of danger like it's no big deal, and then throwing out this massive burst of energy that screams, "Everyone sit down, class is over." And for all you strategist mains out there, she's basically your worst nightmare. Trying to outthink her? Good luck! By the time you've made your move, she's already 5 steps ahead, dismantling your plan piece by piece. It's chaos magic, baby. You can't plan for chaos. And let's not forget, Wanda has that flair for drama that only a true Marvel villain turned hero turned villain again can pull off. She's not just a character, she's the moment. Whether you remember her as the broken-hearted Avenger or the multiverse's most terrifying mom, one thing's for sure. Scarlet Witch is here to make a statement. And in Marvel Rivals, that statement is usually, you lose. Oh, you think you've seen anti-heroes before? Let me introduce you to The Punisher, the walking definition of villain vibes with a hero's toolkit. Frank Castle isn't just some guy with a tragic backstory. He's the guy who turned that tragedy into an unrelenting, gun-blazing rampage against anyone who dares cross the line. In Marvel Rivals, he's not here to play nice, and that's exactly what makes him such a standout villain. If you're into explosions, mayhem, and a total disregard for the Geneva Conventions, Frank's your guy. Gameplay-wise, The Punisher is basically a love letter to third-person shooter fans. Assault rifle? Check. Shotgun? Oh, absolutely. A mounted turret for when things get spicy? You better believe it. And let's not forget his pièce de résistance, a massive minigun that screams subtlety is overrated. What's great is that he's super beginner-friendly. If you're new to Marvel Rivals and still trying to figure out how not to accidentally blow yourself up, Frank gives you all the tools to wreak havoc without needing to memorize some 12-step combo. But let's be real, Frank Castle isn't exactly winning any awards for moral integrity. He's the guy everyone in the Marvel Universe side-eyes, and honestly, he thrives on that energy. He's not about saving kittens from trees or teaching life lessons. He's here to clean house no matter how messy it gets. So, whether you're gunning for leaderboard dominance or just want to feel like the ultimate action movie star, the Punisher brings the heat. And trust me, with him, it's always a scorched earth policy. Ah, Magneto, the ultimate I'm not the villain, you are energy, right? This guy's a walking argument for why you should never tick off someone who can control metal. In Marvel Rivals, Magneto takes his place as a vanguard, and let me tell you, he is not here to play nice. With high HP and a knack for shielding himself and his team, he's basically the guy who says, "If you want to hurt my friends, you're gonna have to get through me first." Spoiler alert, that's not an easy task. But don't let his tanky playstyle fool you into thinking he's just a walking wall. Nope. Magneto's got some serious range on his attacks. Picture it. Chunks of metal flying through the air, slamming into enemies like a freight train. It's oddly satisfying, especially if you're the one dishing out the punishment. That said, he's not perfect. Because, let's face it, even Magneto has his off days. He's slow-moving, which means if the enemy team catches him alone, they can turn him into mutant scrap metal pretty fast. You've got to play smart and keep him with allies to maximize his potential. So, what's the verdict? If you love the idea of a tank who can also dish out serious damage while keeping your team alive, Magneto's your guy. Plus, there's just something cool about throwing cars at your enemies, right? Just remember, this isn't a solo gig. Teamwork is key if you want to bring out Magneto's full potential. And hey, if nothing else, it's always fun to say, the power of magnetism compels you, as you launch another metal storm. Alright, let's dive right into the deep end, literally, with Namor, the ruler of the Underwater Kingdom and Marvel's ultimate wildcard. This guy isn't just here to swim laps around his enemies, he's bringing the entire ocean with him. Namor is the kind of character who keeps everyone on their toes. One moment he's helping the Avengers save the world, and the next, he's flooding Wakanda because, well, he felt like it. His moral compass? Let's just say it's as unpredictable as the tides. In Marvel Rivals, Namor shines as a duelist, and he's not here to play fair. Armed with his iconic trident, he dishes out some devastating attacks, but the real kicker? Those Monstro spawns. These aquatic creatures can turn the tide, pun fully intended, of any battle. They're sneaky little beasts that can chip away at objectives and enemies alike. If you're not paying attention, they'll swarm you faster than you can say Imperious Rex, and suddenly, you're out of options. What makes Namor truly exciting to play is how he floods the battlefield, literally and figuratively. His abilities feel larger than life, fitting for a king who controls the seas. Whether you're overwhelming your opponent with relentless pressure or making clutch plays with those Monstro spawns, Namor is all about calculated chaos. Just remember, he's as dangerous to his allies as he is to his enemies, so watch your team dynamics. Or don't. It's Namor, chaos is kind of his thing, and that's what makes him so much fun. Oh, you want to talk about pure, unrelenting chaos? Let's dive into Hela, the Queen of Death herself, and one of the most fearsome villains you'll encounter in Marvel Rivals. She's not just here to play, she's here to dominate. And let's be honest, she's doing a pretty spectacular job of it. If you're unlucky enough to face her, buckle up, because you're in for a ride straight into the Nether Realm. Hela is a duelist, and let me tell you, she's got the skills to back it up. Her mobility is off the charts, letting her zip around the battlefield like a shadow you can't quite catch. Her main attacks hit harder than a Mjolnir swing, and her ultimate, oh, it's a chef's kiss moment of destruction. Picture this, 1 second you're holding your ground, feeling confident, then bam, Hela hits her ult, and suddenly, your team is gone. It's not just about the damage though, she can also stun enemies, making her a nightmare to deal with when she's cornered. But here's the thing, Hela isn't just tough, she's strategic. She thrives on timing, positioning, and making her enemies panic. That's why she's a 3-star difficulty character. Mastering her takes skill, but once you do, you're practically unstoppable. Whether it's her ambition to conquer Asgard or her relentless thirst for power, Hela brings an energy that screams, "I'm the villain, and you better respect it." Oh, you think you're ready to take on Venom? Sweet summer child, let me tell you, this guy isn't just another villain, he's the villain. You know the one. The teeth, the tongue, the absolute vibe. Venom in Marvel Rivals is a vanguard, and trust me, he takes that role and runs with it like a symbiote on a sugar rush. He's not just here to fight, he's here to ruin your day and look cool doing it. So, what makes Venom such a menace? For starters, his health pool is basically a flex. This dude is tanky to the point of absurdity. Combine that with abilities that keep him topped up, and you're looking at a nightmare scenario where he's not only outlasting you, but actively thriving in the chaos. And don't even get me started on his crowd control, locking down enemies and waltzing straight into the backline like he owns the place. If you're caught slipping, Venom's got you. And by got you, I mean you're toast. The real beauty, though, is watching a skilled Venom player at work. They don't just engage, they invade. They'll dive right into your team, split you up, and start picking off the squishier heroes like it's feeding time at the zoo. And what's worse, he can shrug off incoming damage like it's just a mild inconvenience. It's that balance of raw power and resilience that makes him so terrifying. And let's be real, so much fun to play. Alright, buckle up folks, because we're diving into the mind of the ultimate trickster, Loki, the god of mischief himself. If Chaos had a brand ambassador, it would be this guy. Loki's not just here to play in Marvel Rivals, he's here to rewrite the rulebook, flip it upside down, and then laugh as everyone scrambles to figure out what just happened. He's the only strategist in the villain lineup, and oh boy, does he live up to the title. Loki's abilities are all about illusions, and trust me, they're as frustratingly clever as you'd expect. He can conjure multiple copies of himself to fight alongside him, and here's the kicker. He can swap places with them whenever he wants. You think you've got him cornered? Nope, that's just one of his clones. Oh, and did I mention he can heal through these illusions? Yeah, Loki's not just slippery, he's downright infuriating to pin down. And if you think you've caught him in a weak moment, poof! He turns invisible and vanishes like a magician at a kid's birthday party, except way cooler. Now, let's talk about his ultimate, because this is where things get wild. Loki doesn't just beat heroes, he becomes them. That's right, he can copy a target hero using their own abilities against them. Imagine thinking you're about to land the final blow on Loki, only to have your powers turned back on you tenfold. It's diabolical, it's hilarious, and it's so perfectly Loki. Playing him feels like you're always one step ahead of your opponent, and honestly, that's exactly how it should feel when you're the god of mischief. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.